Hi, I'm Paul. So I want to talk a little bit more about the illusion or the appearance that we talk about in non-duality. But I'm going to talk about it from a slightly different perspective. So a few years ago, when I first started trying to research this sort of stuff, somebody asked me a question. And the question, I'm sure a lot of you would have heard this question before. And the question was, if a tree falls down in a forest, and nobody's there to hear it, does it make a sound? So I had to, well, I didn't have to, but I spent a whole night awake trying to work out what this could mean and try and break down the question. And I think at some point through the night, I started to divide the word sound away from vibration. And what I've suggested was, if a tree falls down in a forest, it doesn't make a sound, it makes a vibration. And from this I said that sound only exists internal to mind, and vibration exists external to mind. So there's no such thing as sound external to mind. So what I'm saying with this is when the tree falls down, it creates a vibration. And if you have somebody who stood there who can't hear anything, they would say, I felt the vibration. So when the tree falls down, creates a vibration, that vibration goes into your eardrums, vibrates your eardrums and goes into your brain. And your brain creates an image inside of your brain to describe what just happened. And that's what we would call sound. I mean, this is also the same as sight, the objects that we see. And what happens with the objects that we see is light would hit an object. And light is only an electromagnetic wave, so it's very similar to a vibration, it's just a wave. It hits the object and bounces off the object. The wave slightly changes depending on what object it bounces off and then hits your eyes. And that wave goes into your brain. And then your brain makes the best image of what it can from the information that it received, which is just a wave. And what I'm trying to explain here is all that we see and hear, all of our experiences of the outside world, is only an appearance inside of our mind. It's an appearance that we create inside of our mind of what we think the outside world is. I'm pretty sure that there is something that still exists outside. I just don't know what it is. Maybe it is just waves, vibrations, energy. So the way that we see it is through our five senses, which then makes our brain create an image of what we think we see. And because that image is created inside of our mind, then we can say that that's just an appearance of what we see. We could also talk the same about time. We think that time moves pretty steady, but that's just our appearance. If we was to travel at the speed of light, which I know we can't do, I'm just saying if we was, then time would stand still. Your mind would still continue, so you would be aware, but it would just seem that nothing else moves. And I think the way that this works is, if I was to create an incident, something happens here. Let's say I drop a ball on the floor, and at the same time I drop that ball, I shoot off at the speed of light. So the light from that appearance of the ball falling and me are both travelling at the speed of light. And because we're both travelling at the speed of light, it would appear that nothing else is moving. So therefore time stands still. So what I'm saying about appearances or illusions, whichever one you want to call it, everything we do see is just an appearance in the mind. There definitely is some sort of reality there behind it. I don't know what that reality is, and nobody else does. Maybe when we die, we'll know what that is. I don't know, but we also don't know what happens when we die. Anyway, thanks very much for listening.